Wow, what a tournament we have just seen. Um, with the round 16 is over. We're going into the quarterfinals, and England are there. This is just the England review, not a full review of the round 16, but we'll be doing that later at some point today, but I don't know when. So at this time of recording, I'm going to record this. This is going to come out about 11 o'clock tomorrow. But yeah, let's talk about it. England have just sneaked through a few days ago. It's at the time of recording Tuesday, so it's 2 days after the game. I've taken a bit of time just to process it. And wow, were we lucky? A lot of people saying we played not so great. I was watching the game more this time round than the previous games. I tend to do that more when it gets to the knockouts because it's more vibrant. And I said 2-1. I predicted 2-1 ages ago before kickoff to all my work colleagues, and they didn't believe me, but it went that way. We needed extra time. I'm glad we got the early goal. It just shows how good this England team is when it comes together. But there's still elements of worry. I mean, watching Turkey and Austria tonight, have we come against one of those? I think those two are the favourites on our end of the spectrum, even better than the Netherlands. Netherlands couldn't score today against Romania. So, it was a major struggle. I'm just looking, they're doing the analysation. I've turned off the volume so I don't get any copyright. But yeah, we won the final eight. Who would have predicted this? I said we'd be out quarterfinal, semi-final last time when I did a review, and I think my prediction was right. I don't think we can be overconfident, but I can say that was England's second best performance of the tournament. And the only reason it is because we showed good quality to win a game. And that element hopefully gives us confidence. I mean, we've come against all good defensive teams, and I talked to my dad. I'm just trying to see what I've got. I think I got a saw right there. That's really annoying right now. But back to England and how this England team approach these next two games, because I think the final will be completely different. I think it's different. I think we are going to get more attacking opportunities. I think we're going to be more confident than we've ever been in this tournament. I don't think our football is going to massively change, but I do think it's going to be a bit more high pressing, a bit like the Dutch, I think, next game. And, of course, we got Switzerland, who will be our toughest opponent of the tournament, even more tougher than the Danish, who did draw against us. I mean, we showed how, good we were in the second half against Slovenia and had attacking elements, and there was qualities there. And again, at the end of the game, we showed qualities. But for me, I think the elements that England need to take away is that they just need to be stronger and need to be confident now that they can go on to win this tournament. We've got a really nice group. I mean, whoever we face in the semi-final is going to be a tough game. It's probably going to be tougher than the Switzerland game. I think we will probably go to extra time again against Switzerland, but I do think it's going to be 2-2. It might even go to penalties, and we have the upper advantage from my predictions. But back to this game, it wasn't great. It was very, very bad, but we found a way. I mean, tonight, Turkey just held it on to a win against Austria, and it's the same with the French, and it's the same with the Dutch. I think we're not the only team that's underperforming. I think the French have not been great, barely getting past the Belgians yesterday, and have been getting past teams barely. I mean, Portugal, they had to scrape the penalties yesterday. The Dutch couldn't find a second goal for about half an hour of the whole game. That was just totally insane. I don't know how they didn't get 4 or 5 goals in that game. And Turkey just were probably the best team, I think, in this round of 16, entertainment-wise, and how they just managed to win their game, even better than probably Spain and Germany. Germany don't look great. I've got to be honest with you. Spain look a bit iffy. I mean, they had elements of defensive errors in the first game. And of course, they've got to go past that, tougher routes of the tournament. But in terms of where this team can go, I mean, we could go far in this tournament if we can just have a good performance that I think is going to come next game. I think a lot of people are negative still, and I understand the negativity, but we need to be positive. We've just got past Slovakia, and we've just scored two incredible goals. I mean, the way they have figured out a way to just win that game is, I don't think England have ever had that like extra quality, and maybe that's how we win this tournament. The extra quality for England has been needed at tournaments, but for me personally, it is all what it is, really, and it is over now. We don't have to worry till Saturday. We get to watch Friday games, and then it's all focus on that Saturday game. And to be honest with you, Saturday is going to be a very difficult game. It's going to be our hardest game of the tournament. Switzerland have been on great form. They drawed with the Germans. They've beaten every team apart from Scotland convincingly. They've only won one of the games, and I don't think they were that convincing against Italy. I think a lot of people said they were, but Italy have been a walkover team all tournament. They're a good team, but they have been kind of easy to walk over. So, I mean, we can get annoyed of how England are playing, but we're here. We've managed a way to get a quarterfinal. It may not be the nicest way, but this kind of the result reminds me of 2018, and how far we have gone as a team, to this point. And it reminds me of 2018 Tunisia, where we scored that late goal that won us that game, and won our first ever game as a major tournament since I think it was 98 before that tournament. So I can't be annoyed with England. There's elements that, England need to change this good, and they have to next game because they will have no Gainey. And I think they need to make two changes up front. Midfield was perfect. Jude Bellingham keeps his position. I think Kane now, for another game, keeps his position after what he showed last game. And you can't really take Jude Bellingham and Kane out. There is that argument, but after them scoring those goals, you really take out the only two that have the only goals of this tournament. So, that is a debate for the fans. I mean, how this tournament has gone, it's been outstanding. I will tell you my review of the round 16 because I don't think it's actually been that interesting. There's not been many upsets, apart from tonight, I think, was the only upset. I mean, Safina was a good one for the watching, but for England, I would really say, it is difficult to say where we're going to go from here. We could go one way or the other, and I think it might go the way that a lot of people want. I think England will make some changes. I don't think he's going to keep the same squad. I think he might not change much at the back or midfield, but up front, I do see two changes in this next game. And it might just mean, Anthony Gordon goes on the wing instead of Foden. But I don't think you change Jude Bellingham or Kane anymore. I didn't think Jude Bellingham was needed to be changed. I know he looked a bit tired in the last two games before the Slovakia game, but his quality, his goal, outstanding. Probably the best goal I've ever seen in an England shirt at a major tournament. I've never seen a goal like that. And it's like, people are annoyed because of the performance. That's understandable, and we shouldn't be overconfident going into this Switzerland game. But I'm comfortable. I'm not angry. I'm glad we've proven a point. It's not a great point, but you don't have to dominate games to win them. And all these Slovakian fans saying that Slovakia deserved to win, no, they didn't. Slovakia didn't bring anything after the first 30 minutes. 30 minutes, they held back. They were very similar to Slovenia. They just held back and they didn't bring anything. And all these Slovakian fans, not Slovenian fans, but all these Slovakian fans saying, oh, we deserve to. No, you didn't. You didn't bring anything. You held back. You parked the bus like us. And the game got quite interesting in the second half. I mean, had that goal from Foden wasn't disallowed and it was onside, there would have been probably it would have possibly been done in the second half, and we would have maybe just sneaked through. But I think certain elements of that need to be tried. I think also using shots from long distance need to be coming back. We didn't do that enough in the previous 3 games, and I think in this one as well. So I think overall, not a great performance. I know a lot of people are going to be angry, but I'm positive because we are through to the quarterfinals. We're now in the final 8. We won the final 8. We could be the final 4. I can see us beating Switzerland very easily, but I think the element that has been haunting us all tournament is we're going against defensive teams. Every game we've gone against a defensive team. Even Denmark's quite defensive, but there was tackling elements. And I don't think we was very switched on. I think that's been our worst game of the tournament. But, I mean, even against Serbia and Slovenia, we've shown elements that we can beat these teams. But Switzerland is a different team. They've been on great form. They've got players that are on pretty decent form. You've got, players that have got unique qualities like Samet, Vergagas, Shaqiri, is he in there? Shaqiri and Shaka. Those are players that I'm excited about to see if they can challenge England. I think, I'll be honest with you, 2-2 penalties for England is the way. I hate to say penalties, but I don't think we're going to do it in normal time again. I do think we're going to start slowly. I don't think we're going to have a perfect first half, but I do think the second half again is where we click. It's happened last game and it happened in this game. We just need to be more quick on the ball, change a few things. Also making maybe a change for Kane in this game might be an option. Maybe bring him on later in the game. That might be a better option. I don't think changing the front 3 is a great thing. I think you need to make 2 changes up front and then maybe you're going to have to make a change at the back. So we don't know if Luke Shaw gets into this squad now. I think Luke Shaw will be a perfect option if he's back to fitness. I think there's hesitancy, maybe they bring him in the semi-finals. I mean, that's if we get there, but I think Luke Shaw will be a great option to bring on at half-time for defence. And I think you bring him into this game, maybe not to start, maybe an extra time or a sub to bring on. Sounds really awful. I mean, Cole Palmer, great player. I mean, I want to see more from him. But unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see much from him. I think he would be the only player that I don't think is going to get into the squad. He did do very well. He was a very good player, but for me, I don't think he had that flair he had in that first game, and that sometimes does happen. So, give him another game. I hope he does come back on. I do like that. A lot of people disagree, not like putting Cole Palmer on, but he is a better player to come on in this tour. And I think you do make the change for Foden. You do make the change for Kane in the beginning of the second half or just before the game. One of those two needs to go, and I think it is Foden. Foden's played badly at this tournament. I wish we had a Jack Grealish, but it is really what it is. Anyway, this has been a quick review. The round of 16 is done. England are through. Relief. My prediction was right. We're going to get to the quarters or semis. Don't think it's going to be easy on Saturday, but the only way I see us winning is penalties 2-2. And I think we lead 1-0. Then they get a goal, and then they get a second goal, and then we find a way to get a second goal. And somehow we're going to find a way to get through again. But it's not going to be easy. It's going to be very sticky. It's going to be hard. And it's going to be very, very bad. I don't think it's going to be great football. And I mean, if we are to win this next game, are we able to say that we're the favourites? I don't know. I mean, we'd be four favourites at least, but imagine that if we win the quarterfinals, have a really good performance. Is there any question or doubt that it needs to come now? I mean, I don't think it will to the final, but I think we are getting better. I can't say we're getting worse because you can't be angry. Yes, you could be angry with the performance, but we can get better. And that's one good thing that is kind of our weapon right now. If it clicks next game, every team should be worried because we've got the experience, we've got the players, and that's the same with the French. It's the same with the French, same with the Dutch. I think even the same with the Portuguese. They've not really clicked yet. If any of those teams click, I do think the Spain and Germany team will shiver in their pants because of the experience of all these other four teams that have not really clicked yet. And we're not the only. I keep seeing this. Everyone's overlooking England. Everyone's overlooking England. That's the funny thing. And yes, you can overlook England as an England fan, but everyone's like looking at France and saying they're still pretty good. They're not. They're awful. They just scraped a 1-0 win against Belgium yesterday, who, let me remind you, drawed against Ukraine 0-0 and equalled on the same points as Slovakia and Ukraine, who nearly beat Slovakia. So, I mean, that just shows you things. And the French, they don't go into this conversation as favourites. I know it's Germany and Spain at the moment, but one of those are going out. And I think it might be Germany, but I think Spain might just crumble. Maybe Germany have that element. But Netherlands, they looked good today. They were actually probably the best team coming out of this round of 16. And it's been mainly Spain and Germany. But now, without one of those two going further than the semi-finals, there is a conversation that maybe in Netherlands could be the big threat for us now. But at the same time, we've not gone against real attacking teams, really, apart from Denmark. And I think this is a more attacking team than Denmark. And this might actually get us out of our shell. If we have to be attacking, we have to find a way. And I think next game, I don't think it'll be as high pressing, but I do think we will have attacking element and we will have some form of clicking element next game, because I don't think this is going to keep going. I think players will start to be like, we need to be more attacking, we need to push further up, but it's not going to all click straight away. Anyway, this feels like the longest 18-minute review. I've loved doing this. I hope on Saturday we are going to the semi-finals. If we get to this semi-finals, we are the biggest scam in European history. I'm just saying that now. But it'd be amazing to shut up the critics, and if we have a good performance as well, that would be a big shut up to everyone, even me. I've criticised this England team after the previous game. I criticised England massively against Denmark, and I'm positive now. I'm happy. England fans were happy with that performance. They weren't amazing and they weren't great, but there are fans that are happy. That is kind of an England performance. We're not fully there yet, but if it clicks, it's going to click at some point. It's surely going to click now after 4 games, and I think it will click. They will make changes. I don't think we're going to have the exact same squad next game, because we are going to have to make changes in the back line that kind of affects the midfield as well, and that element is, who do you put in? I don't think Gallagher's going to be in the squad anymore, but he might be an option off the bench. I think Ivan Toney was a good option to bring on. But yeah, I think the changes last game, the subs were way too late again. That's a big issue for Southgate. He doesn't know when to bring on subs, and that's been the only criticism I've had of him every time I've watched of him, and even in the UEFA Nations League, he just doesn't bring on subs at the right time. Or he brings them on too early, or he brings them on too late, and that's a difficult thing for a manager, but he should know that. Anyway, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this England review. It was very quick. I just wanted to say my review. It's been a few days. Wanted to take some time away. And also the round 16 has been going on, so I've been trying to catch up with that. We are back hopefully Saturday, but we'll be back later on this afternoon for a round of 16 review. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Comment down below who you think is going to win this Euros, and where do you think England are going to finish? Do you think they're going to finish in the quarters, a defeat against Switzerland, or do you think my prediction is very realistic? I think it's realistic because I do think England are going to struggle again, but I think there might be more of an attacking element. I kind of see that it's starting to slowly click, but not fully click, and that fully click is going to either happen this quarterfinal or semi-final, but we will see. Anyway, thanks very much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. That'll be a round of 16 review later this afternoon. Bye bye.